Temple takes on Rutgers, 6:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff this Thursday, September 2nd, 2021. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are minus 14, totals 51.5. And if you like the Temple Owls in an upset victory on the road here, they're plus $4 for some money line cash. And following this past Sunday's sports wagering action, we're currently 10-2 in our last 12 Major League Baseball tier package picks on my BrockPage.com website. And if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks I'm actually betting on personally, there's only one way to do that, and that's to sign up for a membership on my BrockPage.com website. In addition to that, we are also 3-0 in our last 3 extra daily picks on that very same webpage. And if you want to access today's extra daily pick, it's only going to cost you just $2.99. Now, as of right now, we currently have over 850 members who are signed up and active on that site. And once again, if you want to see which one of these free YouTube picks that I'm actually betting on personally, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Temple Owls had a really tough season last year. Losers of their final 5 ball games, 2-5 against the spread overall for the entire season. Now, the Owls also averaged just 10 points a game in their final 4 contests of 2020 as well. They're taking on a Rutgers team who played a lot of programs very tough last year. Now, in addition to beating Maryland and Purdue, the Knights played Nebraska, Michigan, and Illinois to one-score contests. They even put up 42 points on the likes of Michigan, and they also scored 27 on Ohio State. Bo Melton was the team's leading receiver with 47 catches and 638 yards. The 5'11 senior also had 6 touchdown grabs and averaged nearly 14 yards of reception. Meanwhile, Isaiah Pacheco gained 515 total yards on the ground and averaged 5 yards a carry himself. Now, this is going to be a real tough test for Temple to open up the year on the road. Not so sure they can score enough to help put this one over. The Scarlet Knights, on the other side, they also saw their final 3 contests of 2020 stay under the line. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Rutgers Scarlet Knights minus 14 and the under 51.5. Next ball game, Boise State, UCF, 7 p.m. Eastern kickoff this Thursday. The UCF Golden Knights, well, I guess they're just the Knights now, right? They're not the Golden Knights or the Black Knights. Are they the Black Knights? I don't know. The UCF Knights. They're minus 5 with the total at 68.5. Now, the Knights do a pretty good job at beating up on bad teams. Having said that, though, this was one of the worst covering teams in college football last year. UCF failed to cover the point spread in 7 out of their final 9 ball games. This Knights defense also gave up a ton of points. UCF allowed 28 points or more in 7 out of their last 9 contests of 2020. They're taking on a Boise State team who won 3 out of their final 4 contests last year to finish off the season. Now, this high-powered Bronco offense put up 40 points or more in 4 out of their 7 contests last year as well. Khalil Shakir had 719 yards receiving, along with 6 touchdowns. Now, the whiteout averaged over 100 yards receiving a game. Meanwhile, defensively, linebacker Riley Wimpy led the charge with 61 total tackles. Total-wise, Boise went 5-2 to the over in their 7 games last season. UCF went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. I'm going to lean toward the Boise State Broncos plus 5 and the over 68.5. Next ball game, it is going to be USF versus NC State, 7:30 p.m. East. NC State's minus 18, totals 59. The Wolfpack had a handful of marquee victories last year. Liberty, Florida State, Duke, and Virginia all fell victim to the Wolfpack in 2020. The Wolfpack was also very good against the number as well, 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 ball games. Zonovan Knight averaged 5.5 yards a carry for the Wolfpack, 788 total yards on the ground, along with 10 rushing touchdowns. Meanwhile, Emeka Emezie had 47 catches for 738 yards and 5 scores. This NC State defense also played some pretty good football last year as well. They held their opponents to just 20 points a game in their final 5 contests. Peyton Wilson led the charge with 108 total tackles. Now they're taking on a struggling USF program who went just 1-8 last year. And in addition to that, they allowed 34 points or more in 7 out of those 9 ball games. And scoring-wise, the Bulls of USF, they went 5-1 to the over in their last 6 ball games. NC State saw a contest with Syracuse, Miami, and UNC get over the line as well, just to name a few. I'm going to lean toward the NC State Wolfpack minus 18 in the over 59. Next ball game, it is going to be East Carolina, Appalachian State, 7:30 p.m. East. The Appy State Mountaineers are minus 10.5, totals 58 and a hook. Appalachian State won 8 out of their final 10 ball games, and they played very stout defensively for most of the season. They actually held their opponents to 24 points or less in 7 out of their last 10 ball games. Brendan Harrington had 4 interceptions from that linebacker position, 48 total tackles, and a pick 6 for Harrington. Meanwhile, offensively, Cameron Peoples rushed for over 1,100 yards, along with a dozen scores on the ground. Now, the running back also averaged over 6.5 yards a carry as well. They're taking on an ECU program who lost 6 of 9 last year and gave up a whole bunch of points in the process. Now, total-wise, the Pirates went 6-3 to the over in their last 9 ball games. Appalachian State went 4-1 to the over in their last 5 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Appy State Mountaineers minus 10.5 and the over 58 and a hook. Next contest, Buckeyes, Gophers, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. Ohio State's minus 14, numbers 65.5. Now, Ohio State put up a bunch of points last season, and they do have a handful of impact players back on offense. Master Tig scored 8 times on the ground last year and averaged just about 5 yards a carry for the Buckeyes. Meanwhile, Chris Olave feels like he's been there forever. He's coming off a real nice season where he had 7 touchdown grabs, along with 729 total yards receiving. Now, Garrett Wilson is also back for the Buckeyes as well. He had 43 receptions for 723 yards and 6 scores as well. They're taking on a Minnesota squad who lost to the likes of Wisconsin, Iowa, Maryland, and Michigan last year. And as a matter of fact, this Minnesota defense allowed over 30 points a game on average in the entire 2020 campaign. Now, total-wise, I'm not so sure the Gophers are going to be able to score enough to stay relevant in this one. They also saw 4 out of their final 5 ball games of 2020 stay under the line. Meanwhile, the Buckeyes, on the other side of things, they saw a contest with Nebraska, Penn State, and Northwestern stay under the total last year themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Ohio State Buckeyes minus 14 and the under 65.5. All right, next ball game. It is going to be Bowling Green versus Tennessee, 8 p.m. Eastern kickoff. The Tennessee Vols are minus 34, totals 59 and a hook. Now, Tennessee's got the talent to win this one, but not enough offense to cover, in my opinion. I'm going to lean toward the Bowling Green Falcons plus 34 and the under 59 and a half.